Okay, Season 3, Episode 10, Terra Firma, Part 2. You gotta know there's gonna be spoilers on this one. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. And first of all, I predicted that it would be the Guardian of Forever who Carl actually was. And one of the things that I find very interesting about this is that he even uses the voice that was used in the original Guardian. Now, the person who did that voice is no longer around because it was James Doohan. James Doohan, many people don't know, in the original series, was the disembodied voice of just about everything. He was when the beings that were in the spheres that built bodies but took over Kirk and Spock and I don't know who was it, Nurse Chapel, this was the voice while he was still in the sphere of the leader was Jimmy Doohan. Virtually any time there was an off-camera voice, it was him, because in his Scottish accent, he sounded completely different from his normal voice, and he was one who could do accents and he could do different voices. And so he was a very useful voiceover artist, and they took well advantage of that in the original series. At any rate, I love the way that they did it also with the special effects. They took the door and blew it up and then took all the splinters and lined them all back up into the original Guardian gateway, if you will. And the fact I mentioned last week that he spoke in riddles, that was the same way they said it in as many words in the original episode, City on the Edge of Forever, that the Guardian only spoke in riddles, and why do you only speak in riddles? That was the same thing that they were talking to Carl about last week. When Philippa is sent back to the gateway after her experience in the Terran universe, that Michael says, well, you're only gone for a moment, and Scotty in the original show said, you're only gone for a minute. And so that also is consistent with the Guardian of Forever, which then identifies himself. And then this gives us also the answer to a mystery of what was going to happen to Georgiou when she has to be in the Section 31 series. This was the way that she could travel back through time and keep it consistent within Star Trek canon. Right now, they have gone through this and destroyed the crystal and the suit of all this, of how they got there. Various other time travel technology has been made illegal in the modern universe in the 32nd century. So how was Georgiou going to get back? And our early idea was that, well, she'll just be in Section 31 in this century and perhaps go with the guy in the glasses, who's obviously a Section 31 type. But this does open up a lot of possibilities in the 23rd century, and it makes sense as far as the story goes for her to return there. They have a very good send-off for her with Michael herself, and actually coming to terms that it wasn't really the old Georgiou that she was attached to, but the mirror universe Georgiou that she really liked. And this is something during the course of her visit back to the mirror universe that Georgiou finds out herself, that she kind of likes the world she went into a little bit better than the one she left, and was making some attempts to fix what was wrong with the Empire and make it a little more like our prime universe. But of course, it was not to be. Now, you might think that it was something of the sort of the inner light where she's put into a trance, but they do point out that on her biomonitor, she actually had been gone for several months. So this is something that actually happened. It's not just in her mind. It was not just some trick. So this is what happened, and what a orchestrated episode it was. The acting was great. The fight scenes were wonderful. The special effects were stupendous. They had a nice send-off for her once they were back on the ship. They said every negative thing about her that was really a positive thing. Very good episode. Also, kind of in the background, they have found, through the help of Book, to be able to break into the code of the ship that was sending the distress signal, and believe that there's somebody that is still sending it. It's on an endless loop, but there might be somebody there, so that's going to be checked out in the next episode. So we have a couple of things to do now that we have resolved Giorgio's story in the Discovery series of this year. I have to say that it was a very well-crafted story, and I'd like to know what you think about it. So do so in the comments below, and of course, if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. We'd love to have you as a subscriber to this channel. And until next time, don't go far.